You ready?
Yep.
I think we could agree if I had a time machine.
We go back and find out how the dinosaurs died.
Nope.
Well, I would.
I would.
But we can't all agree.
Yeah, true. So what can we agree that we'd use the time machine for?
No, I said if I had a time machine.
Okay.
You guys are jumping to the conclusion that I'm letting you guys borrow my time machine.
Well, you're talking about us going back in time, so we have access.
I would take you guys with me on my time adventures.
And we'd ask if we could go see.
And if you're nice, maybe.
All right.
But if there's one thing this year that I could go back and change, I think we're all in agreement that it would be the fact that Brock Lesnar ended Undertaker's WrestleMania streak.
That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Which we just found out via Vince's podcast that it was Vince's choice.
You motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it somehow had to do with Undertaker wanting to give back.
Yeah, Vince.
That didn't make sense.
Do you want to give everyone the line that you kept saying?
Remind me the line that I kept saying.
Undertaker wanted to give to the business.
How the fuck does that give back
Yeah.
to business?
No, Brock Lesnar, losing to Brock Lesnar, anything involving Brock Lesnar, except for if Brock Lesnar came in and put over Kofi Kingston, is not giving back to the business.
Exactly.
It's the backwards ass logic that people use defending Brock Lesnar breaking the streak. Well, whoever beats Brock Lesnar is going to get a huge push. Well, yeah, why couldn't that guy just broke the streak? Why?
Yeah, why couldn't that person have just beat The Undertaker?
Yeah. Oh, he's going to beat the guy who beats The Undertaker. That's going to... Yeah, why couldn't he just be the guy?
How come no one's beaten Brock Lesnar yet, then?
Because Brock Lesnar has been on fucking TV
Because
since
he's only
September.
wrestled John Cena.
Since September. It's December now.
But...
I think Brock Lesnar is so scared of what anyone else will do to him in a ring because of the upsetness over the streak ending that he's only gonna fight John Cena. He's like, everyone else will hit me really hard. No one will sell my moves.
John still kind of likes me. But anyway.
So, because of this travesty,
Travesty.
we came up with a segment.
Travis C.
Travis D is the next one in the alphabet.
Yes. He's my brother.
We created a segment we do every month called The Streak Week, or the top 5 reasons why blank should have ended the streak. And we alternate picks on who gets to pick the person. This week, it's our returning member of the roster, Thomas Wolf's turn to pick.
What?
Who gonna break the streak?
I got a
Or
lot
who
of
should have
cool
broken the
stuff
streak
coming back.
instead
You're,
of...
you're returning in all kinds of grand fashion. You got top 5, you got streak week.
Alright.
You won the lottery.
Yeah, that's why I was gone.
You didn't invite us.
Well, I only won $1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, scratch
Fair enough. Alright.
So, I didn't think too hard about who I was going to pick. In that after we did last streak week, I asked my cousin who I should pick, and he gave me a name, and I was like, okay, that's who I'm going with.
You know, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me who it was, but I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah. And I think this guy's pretty appropriate because, you know, former world champion.
Okay.
He was, at one point, considered the best in what, at one point, could have been considered the top company in wrestling.
Okay.
And he's just recently kind of returned in epic fashion with a win over Kalisto. I'm picking Kurt Angle.
I see
I see what you did there. Yeah.
That was good.
All right. Kurt
right.
Angle.
Wow.
I like it.
This is good.
Yeah. See, okay, so take some time to... Alright, so, my pick is Kurt Angle. Reason number 1, because Kurt Angle always wanted to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's gone on record to say that he wanted to. So why not let him?
Give the guy what he wants.
Yeah.
Maybe he wouldn't have walked out of the company if you had given him what he wanted. He wanted some time off. You gave him some time off, or he didn't want time off actually. But you made him take time off. He says, you know what? I'm going to take all the time off from you.
You won't let me wrestle Undertaker? Fine. Fuck you.
I'll go wrestle Abyss.
Yeah. It's kind of like The Undertaker and Mick Foley if you mash them together and wash away all the talent.
Actually, no, he went and wrestled Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
That was his first thing.
Probably wrestled Abyss, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know he wrestled Abyss.
Yeah.
I don't.
So, yeah, that's the first reason.
I've never seen it.
That's my first reason.
That's a good reason.
He wanted to. It was a goal of his, and he never got to. And he didn't necessarily want to break the streak, but, why not let him?
He's definitely talented enough.
Absolutely.
Way more talented than other Brock Lesnar chump who might have broken the streak off the record.
Let's jump to my right to Kevin Hawk.
Oh, thanks, Thomas. Weird. There's a portal you didn't notice. We just installed it. It's what Thomas bought with his lottery earnings.
With the $1.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty cheap portal.
But it works. It gets the job done.
Yeah.
Cheap portals, man. You can go in and come out with your ass where your head is. Scary.
So we just use it to give each other looks that you can't see.
It just has a range of this far.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad I'm in the middle.
Well, it's because generally, when you say something dumb, we would have to look past you to give each other looks, and you'd be able to see it. So now we can look this way, and he can look that way, and we can make faces about you, and you don't know.
I feel like this turned into a shot against me.
It happens.
Well, that's what happens when you call women fat.
Yep.
You don't even know what that means!
Alright, so I came up with a reason that I thought was good. And it's the reason why I really enjoyed watching Undertaker versus Kurt Angle in their little mini feud.
Okay.
That they had back on the SmackDown brand many moons ago. And to me, it's in the match itself is going to be a total clash of styles.
Yeah.
Undertaker is very methodical, especially since he's readopted the Dead Man gimmick. And we're talking, who's going to break the streak? Something in this year. He's back to adopted the Dead Man style. So he's slow, he's methodical, he's very strike-heavy oriented, and very, strikes and then the big heavy-hitting moves. The choke slam, the tombstone, the last ride.
And we saw that a lot even last year against CM Punk.
Yeah. And then Angle is very forward-moving, no wasted motions, submission-based.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that extreme clash of styles where Angle is going to be trying to out-wrestle Undertaker. Undertaker is going to be trying to brawl Kurt Angle.
Yep.
And I always think that dynamic, or any kind of dynamic change, as long as the people have some sort of chemistry involved, like a Rey Mysterio Kurt Angle where you have a wrestler versus a luchador.
Right.
Or a Big Show versus Jeff Hardy where you have a high-flying risk taker versus a giant powerful guy. It's those kind of things that make me really go, oh, this match is going to be good because you don't have two guys that are going to wrestle the same style against each other. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have as much of a risk of becoming boring. And Kurt Angle's wrestling background gives him good intuition on countering moves into holds and stuff like that. So I think my reason would be the match and how entertaining the match would be. It would be 900 million times more entertaining than Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar this year was.
Yeah. Another side note to make on that. That's a thing they could have done with Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, if he retained any of his talent that he had in 2002, and or WWE let him utilize that kind of skill set instead of just being like, well, you're big in UFC now, you're a huge name, go be our UFC star.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cop out.
Yeah. Okay. And now
on a side note that doesn't have to go on the video,
Okay.
you just that opened my mind to a question is, how much of Brock Lesnar's current gimmick is his idea, do you think?
I honestly
because he goes in and he wrestles like the UFC fighter Brock Lesnar now. And to me, now I'm thinking is WWE per se pushing that, not like forcing it on Lesnar, but going, hey, you should use this since it's your it's what you're known for now. So we should push you to be heavy in this direction. Or do you think Lesnar's going, that's what I'm known for now, I should go in this direction?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a combination of both because I feel like Lesnar himself is obviously going to want to keep that motif that I am the UFC champion.
Yeah.
That's what is going to bring... they're expecting that to bring the UFC audience to the WWE is like, oh, there's former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar. Well, let's see what he can do in the ring. So they still want to keep that mentality.
Right.
But I feel like initially when he first came back and like busted Cena open so many times, they kind of reined him back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's good about having him with Paul Heyman is that Paul can let him know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're trying to
one of
find
the
a happy balance between Ultimate Fighting and professional wrestling.
Yeah.
What I feel like is happening, though, is that every match I feel like Lesnar's devolving.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because his earlier matches with Cena and his match, like the first match with Triple H, were much higher quality, and then a match with Punk
Yeah.
that he had.
Yeah, at SummerSlam.
And then I feel like he had a couple decent matches with these guys who could help work with him.
Right.
And then he came in with that next run where he's like, okay, I'm going to do Triple H at Mania, and then I'm going to be gone for a while, and then I'm going to do another run with Cena, and I'm going to do Big Show, and, these matches, and I'm like, these ones, and then break the streak.
Right.
All these matches of, like, the second portion of his career so far have been just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, his last good match, before he went on that tirade up to breaking the streak, was the match against Punk last year at SummerSlam. He didn't have a good match until Night of Champions this year against Cena.
Yeah.
That's over a year that he didn't do anything worth fucking while.
Right. Well, and to answer the question,
that just gave us funny YouTube videos.
But to answer the question of if it's WWE or if it's Brock Lesnar, I feel like WWE, I won't say who's like the majority. I feel like WWE is having a big push of, well, Brock Lesnar fans, UFC fans, look at WWE, look at UFC as superior to wrestling. Like, if you're a good UFC fighter, can beat a good wrestler any day.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, okay,
which
Brock,
in a legit fight is probably true as fuck.
yeah,
Depending on who the
wrestler is, because I think Undertaker could hold his own.
I think there's hell, even Dolph Ziggler with his amateur wrestling background
But-
could have a chance.
Yeah, but anyway, they're like, okay, so we want to book you as the real fighter. So Brock, just go out there and fight, like make it seem real.
What would you do if you were in a fight with
Right.
this guy?
To make it seem more legitimate when he wins.
That makes sense in a way.
Which, if we keep all this in this segment, transitions to my next reason as to legitimacy. Brock Lesnar, people argue Brock Lesnar is the only one to break the streak because he's the only legitimate fighter. Kurt Angle is the most legitimate wrestler in the history of WWE because he won the Olympic gold medals with a broken frickin' neck. Woo!
That's true.
And you
It's
just don't
damn
get
true.
more legitimate than that in wrestling. I don't care how good of a UFC fighter you are. Wrestling should not be, at least during a professional wrestling match, wrestling should not be seen as less than anything. Wrestling should be, that's the top. Your wrestling skills matter more than anything else in a wrestling match.
Well, and so many people have gone on record saying that you can't compare UFC and professional wrestling. They're two completely different entities.
I've gone on record. There
are
are records of me saying that.
There's nothing that you can say, okay, we can take this from wrestling and this from UFC and say, oh, it's the same. No, you can't. You can't, they're not actually doing full closed fist punches in wrestling because it's supposed to be a show.
Spin kicks and shit.
It's
like saying
it's a show of athleticism.
To me, it's the same thing. If somebody says, "What's better, Burger King or Taco Bell?" I said, I can't compare those two because Taco Bell makes tacos, Burger King makes burgers.
Yeah, huge difference there.
There's a gap. It's like comparing fruits to vegetables, black to white. Except black and white are both colors.
Sorry.
But some people look better in black,
some
people look better
I was
in white.
answering those questions in my head. And I'm just not. Just going to end it.
All right.
I'm guessing you said white.
But yeah, legitimacy. Kurt Angle is the most legitimate guy to potentially beat The Undertaker. Especially when you consider that once upon a time, Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, before a SmackDown taping, had a shoot-style match that Kurt Angle won before it was broken up.
It's true. I believe that was on Stone Cold's podcast.
I think
Or
JR's.
Jericho's.
I think it was JR's.
I heard it on Jericho's
Maybe.
also.
It was on one of the It was on a podcast.
Yeah.
It was podcasted
Yeah.
by one or more people.
So it's
Yeah.
there's records of that too.
And you don't see Lesnar with any gold medals from the Olympics.
No.
Nope.
You do have he does have,
Two-time NCAA wrestling champion.
Yeah.
Which is very legitimate.
But not
But
as
it's
legitimate
not
as the Olympics.
Olympic freestyle wrestling with broken neck.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So
I
Travis
guess
Cole.
that makes it my turn for reason number 4. If you think about all the different matches that Undertaker's had at WrestleMania, he's always had that polar opposite. If he was the face, aside from Shawn Michaels, it was always a definitive heel that was on the other side of the ring. The only other, the couple times that he was, Ministry Undertaker, I guess he was kind of a tweener, but he was going against Boss Man, so no one really liked Boss Man.
Right.
So aside from Shawn Michaels, there was always that, okay, Undertaker's on one side, this guy's on the other. And
He was probably heel going against Snuka.
The very first Mania he was
Yeah.
at, yes.
Okay. So, yeah.
I just can't imagine Snuka being
No.
heel.
But, again.
But it's very... One's a face, one's a heel.
Other than Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is legitimately the only person that has ever been, on the same level as Undertaker. It's like, we like both these guys, which made those matches so special.
Right.
But if you're going with that motif...
Ooh, I'll go with an opposites. Because I'm crazy and I think of things like this all the time. Undertaker was definitely the heel, in my opinion, in his match with Ric Flair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, he had the whole thing where he attacked David Flair while he was
that's
training.
definitive heel Undertaker.
Yeah.
Right.
So, regardless of what he was, his opponent, other than Shawn Michaels, was always the definitive opposite of what he was. Kurt Angle being such a natural heel. Like, he came in so, already had an arrogance about himself because he was a gold medalist. Because he had done, he had so many accomplishments outside of wrestling. He was naturally cocky. He had that, I'm so goody two-shoes, 3 eyes, I'm better than you mentality that people found it so easy to hate him.
Yeah.
And so if you have someone like The Undertaker defending something that's so beloved like the streak, and you have Kurt Angle coming in doing what he does best, and it is just pissing people off, you give him that music that people can chant, "You suck" to, you're going to have that definitive heel that is going to garner enough heat where people are going to be so much more emotionally vested in whether or not Undertaker's going to come out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the matter, Brock Lesnar beat the streak, and everyone was pissed because Brock Lesnar beat the streak.
Yeah, it wasn't because he was heel, it was because we don't like Brock Lesnar.
If Kurt Angle broke the streak, people would be pissed that the streak was broken, not because it was Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Because no matter who did it, people would be upset that the streak was broken. I'm going to say 95% of the wrestling fans that I know personally have said that the streak never should have ended.
Yeah.
The Undertaker should have retired with the streak intact
Absolutely.
I'm one of those people. Apparently, you are.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I lean more toward that.
Yeah, that so it wouldn't have been. There would be no. I'm angry at Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
For the streak being broken.
It more so would have been, holy shit, Kurt Angle broke the streak.
Right.
It would have been more of us going, oh my god, I can't believe the streak is over. To really, they let Brock Lesnar end the streak. We wouldn't be disappointed. We'd have our minds blown. It would be one of those things we didn't expect to see.
And it could be, with something like Kurt Angle, potentially something that could be celebrated in the future.
Yeah.
Something he can tout as another accomplishment. And then when we're talking later in another fantasy warfare somewhere down the line, or if it would have been this year at WrestleMania, this fantasy warfare where we had Kalisto versus Kurt Angle, that could have been part of one of the arguments.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? Kurt Angle was the guy who broke the streak.
Yeah.
That goes in his favor.
In 2002.
Back when he was awesome.
But, at the same time, he had so many, epic matches with Undertaker early in his career.
Yeah.
That, it would work towards this particular match because they already have history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for the final reason, I have a bunch of reasons just flooding my mind.
All kinds of little reasons here and there.
You
gotta find a good one. This is number 5. This is...
So, one of them I was gonna say, I was gonna mention that, it would be a huge surprise factor having Kurt Angle, of all people, do it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be that same silence, but instead of, everyone being pissed, it would have been silence that exploded into cheers for Kurt Angle and a show of respect between the two. The Undertaker shaking his hand, possibly giving him a hug a la Shawn Michaels. But we kind of touched on that already with Brock Lesnar. Also, the fact that Taker would get up to shake his hand and give him a hug, it would be because Kurt Angle earned it. Also because Kurt Angle would be able to. And so, the top number one reason, Undertaker wouldn't have got hurt. That's...
No concussions.
Yeah. Now, sure, you can say, anything can happen in a wrestling match. There's a chance he would have got hurt.
Absolutely.
But it's minuscule when you take someone like Kurt Angle versus someone like Brock Lesnar, if they're going to hurt their opponent or not.
And knowing that Undertaker was already banged up.
Yeah.
Because, it's well known that over the last couple of years, the matches have been taking more and more of a toll on him. And so he was already, he wasn't at 100% going into this match, but that with Kurt Angle being as good as he is, he would have been able to take care of The Undertaker in the ring. There wouldn't have been the carelessness, or, maybe it wasn't carelessness on Brock Lesnar, it was just a mistake.
Sloppiness.
It would have been less likely with Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle knows his way around the wrestling ring, and he hasn't lost a step.
Yeah.
And he's in that same age range as Undertaker.
So that's it. That's our top 5 reasons why Kurt Angle should have broke the streak.
Good pick.
And
I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was good.
And for a bonus reason, because it's not Brock Lesnar.
That's always going to be our bonus reason.
Another good one too, though. I feel like, despite that being a match that we'd seen over and over again, I consider that being on a list of WrestleMania dream matches.
Yeah.
An Undertaker, Kurt Angle, WrestleMania.
I mean, Kurt Angle, has had some amazing matches. One being against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
There's, his matches against Eddie Guerrero, or there's Kurt Angle made a name for himself at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he lost every time. I don't know if Kurt Angle's ever won at WrestleMania.
He lost both titles.
He won. Okay, he won at 17 against Chris Benoit.
Ah.
Yeah.
So that's one. That's the only one.
Didn't it was 18?
I can't remember who he faced at 18.
Didn't he beat Shawn Michaels?
No.
He didn't? Okay.
No.
Felt like he did for some reason.
No, because Shawn Michaels' first one back was 19 against Jericho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he won against Angle 22.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
But I think Kurt Angle won that match.
That's
No.
possible.
No, Shawn Michaels went against Vince at 22.
Or 23. Or 21.
Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels had a WrestleMania match.
I want to go back and look at this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Kurt Angle made a name for himself at WrestleMania. So to have him go for...
And King of the Ring.
Well, yeah.
Dropping.
Dropping.
Coconut chain head.
But yeah, I mean, having that name, having WrestleMania moments of his own, I mean, that's another WrestleMania moment that would have...
What's Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania moments?
Landing on his head after a shooting star press.
And a crappy match with Goldberg.
Yep.
Back-to-back, man. Back-to-back years. Good for you, Brock.
And
You fuck.
breaking the streak.
Yeah, 10 years later, coming back and having a shitty match and hurting The Undertaker. And pissing the entire wrestling community off.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah. Good pick, Thomas Wolf. That is it for Streak Week. Our special segment next week is going to be Fantasy Warfare.
Again.
Where I will be the referee. These two are going to battle it out. And I'm going to give you a little bit of clue. Y'all better think of some really good people.
Okay.
That's not a clue. That's just something we should strive for most of the time.
I'm just thinking. Think of someone that you want to. Someone you really trust to win this, because I'm gonna make you guys think next week.
Aren't we gonna make you think?
Nope.
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 I think we're gonna make you think because you had to pick a winner.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No matter what, you'll have to
I
think.
will be doing the thinking, but I'm throwing a curveball next week, so just letting you guys know. So I will be the referee. We got all kinds of stuff over there in that playlist.
Like 3 things, including this thing.
Or more later in the week.
Yeah, but right now,
Depending on when this video gets posted. So some of this might not even make sense to you.
Yeah, right now, we actually have nothing in this playlist.
This playlist doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
But eventually, by the end of this week, there's going to be all kinds of stuff in that playlist. So whatever you feel like you want to watch, whether it's indie news, the Raw review, the midweek wrap-up, rewatch Streak Week if you want to.
Yeah, it's
all
fun.
that stuff's over there in the playlist.
Streak Week might be my favorite segment, I think.
It is a fun segment. I appreciate it more the more and more we do it. So, yeah. So have some
My
fun.
favorite might be Fantasy Warfare.
Yeah, that's pretty fun too.
Yeah.
That's next week. Go ahead and like, favorite, subscribe.
This week.
You can follow us on Twitter. You can like
Comment.
our Facebook, our
Comment.
Tumblr. Comment down there. Let's talk.
Comment
This is
in
the
real
place
life.
where fans talk wrestling. Let's do this.
Yeah. Comment in real life.
Yeah.
Like you in real life, sitting at your computer. Comment.
Yeah. Just say something right now. Oh,
Good point.
really?
Really? I didn't consider that.
It's messed up, bro.
We're all 3 replying to different people.
Yeah, well, I'm replying to that funny guy.
Yeah.
You're
My guy
not.
had something really insightful to say. Also, my guy was a girl.
Oh, all right. And
Uh,
apparently yours was offensive.
yeah.
Must have been the Miz. Titus O'Neil's face.
Wait. Oh, it's fine. Jimmy just slapped the shit out of him.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, we're good. We'll see you in the next video. Click a video.
We'll see you sometime.
Yeah, we'll see you in whatever video.
We'll see you if we ever actually meet you in person.
Yeah. Meet us
Meet
in
me
real
in real
life.
life.